Tonight on Colonial Sports Center, the women's basketball team beat up on Duquesne. In the studio tonight, women's goaltender Brianne McLaughlin and head coach Nate Handrahan. The 4-0 B-ball team are off to their best start ever. They paid the Pitt Panthers a visit last night to extend their streak. And how did the women's team do in the 2006 NEC tournament? I just want to dance. That's all I want to do because Colonial Sports Center is next. Welcome to Colonial Sports Center. Hope you guys and gals out there in Colonial Country had a good Thanksgiving. I know I did.
He's Brian Turpak. I'm Heather Suttish. So, did you get the wishbone this year?
As a matter of fact, I did. I wish to one day find out what a dada is. You know what a dada is?
Actually, I have no idea, but everyone over in Massey is finding that out right now. But why don't we just find out who won the basketball game last night?
Maybe we should do that. But led by sixth-year head coach Mark Schmidt, the Colonials were to tip off against the Pittsburgh Panthers Wednesday night. An annual game usually held to just make Pitt, well, feel good about themselves and have Bobby Moe just rearrange deck chairs on the Titanic throughout the game. This year, however, would be a little different. Well, for the first time ever, Robert Morris entered their fifth game of the season unbeaten. In Pitt, well, they're ranked number 3 in the country. Potentially with a win last night at the Peterson Event Center, RMU would be the new ESPN underdog poster child, and maybe, just maybe, Dick Vitale would grace us with a shout-out. Bobby Moe, baby! They're awesome, baby! But with those kind of implications on the line, let's head to downtown to see how they fared. To the Peterson Event Center we go. And RMU finishing a road trip. Their last win was against Maine senior Derek Coleman leading the troops. And there is LaVon Kendall for Pitt. Early first half, Tony Lee going to get the dish inside, does a little oop-de-oop for 2. More RMU offense here. Derek Coleman going to toss it over to Jeremy Chappelle. One of his 2 3-pointers on the night. Other end of the court, that was very nice. Other end of the court, Aaron Gray. Yeah, this guy, he makes mistakes too. Overthrows his pass. Tony Lee is there to reap the benefits. There's only 6 feet of lead, but he'll take the layup. Game tied at 7. Chappelle show. Woo! Jeremy Chappelle lighting it up in the paint. Colson with the assist on that. 19-15 Pitt. RMU within 4. Here's more Colson helping out his friends. Tries to go underneath, but finds Jimmy Langhurst. The diaper dandy, baby. Open for 3. Nails it. He had 3 on the night. Now Pitt on the offensive. Levance. Fields. Toss the rock to Kendall in the paint. Good for 2. 24-18 Pitt. There's Ronald Ramon. Finds Mike Cook. He's going to lay up in 1. Take another look here. A.J. Jackson taking a stand, but I guess he's putting a little too much oomph into it. Cook would miss the free throw, however, about 2:30 left in the half. Jackson wants to take Tyrell Biggs to school, misses the net. Luckily, Tony Lee was there for the putback, cuts the lead to 10. $1:22 left, Aaron Gray. Yeah, that guy's tall. Possible lottery pick he is after the season to go in the NBA. 8 seconds left in the half. RMU with the ball. Colson sent out with the last second shot. Rain dance, 3-pointer good. 30-35 Pitt, lead down to 5 at the half, and everyone's all jacked up. Sinat had 5 points in the first half. Coleman, the only guy that didn't have any points, but here comes Pitt right off the bat. Gray with the rebound, tosses it off to Levance Fields, chucks it up to Antonio Grays. He just gets silly. Lays it up between 2 Colonial defenders, 37-30. Pitt, Jeremy Chappelle looking for anyone that's open, finds Sinat, who finds a crease, and lay off me, I'm starving. The 6'7", 210 junior from Montreal, getting sick and loving it. More RMU offense and more Sinat. Drives right through Kendall and Gray. Get off me. 37-32 Pitt, keeping the lead to 5. Coleman, who didn't have to score a point in the first half, wakes up, once in on the action. Panties. Brings the good ship Colonial within 1 on the Pitt Panthers, number 3 in the country. Other end of the court, Ronald Ramon gets sloppy with the ball. Derek Coleman picks it up, takes it to distance, fakes like he's waiting for backup, but makes a move inside. Nice little jump shot over Antonio Graves. Bobby Moe takes the lead. You heard me right. Second half, 42-41 RMU. Coleman had 12 in the second half. But all good things must come to an end, and unfortunately, very quickly, Aaron Gray. You must respect my authority. Gray, all 270 pounds of him, had 21 points. RMU determined to stay in this thing. Tony Lee lips one off the rim for another 2. We gained 2. They gained 3. More Pitot. Ronald Ramon. Whee! for 3. He had 6 on the night. Let's go to the circus now. Aaron Gray, he gets fouled here. Throws it up, gets the basket, take another look. Gray just lobs it up, somehow makes it in. Are you kidding me? 52-44 Pitt. Watch this. Coleman, 5'11", Kendall, 6'10". Coleman drains the 3 right over top of him. More RMU, more Lee, more of the backboard. Pitt, however, would just keep pulling away. They scored 26 points in 8 minutes since they lost the lead. Derek Coleman with a last-ditch effort, but it was just too much in too little time. 67-53, Pitt would win. A.J. Jackson for Robert Morris, 2 for 3 in the field, 6 points. Derek Coleman, 4 for 10, 12 points on the night. Jeremy Chappelle, 10 points altogether. Pittsburgh is going to move on to 7-0, might move up in the rankings. Aaron Gray, 10 for 13 in the field, 21 points. Mike Cook, 3 for 3. He was perfect, 11 points. LaVon Kendall, 4 for 8, 10 points. But let's head back down to the Peterson Event Center where CSC correspondent Andrew Chiappese has more on the game.
Pittsburgh and Robert Morris have now played 26 times, all losses for the Colonials. And despite playing well against the number 2 team in the nation, senior guard Derek Coleman said RMU just didn't have enough for the Panthers.
With them being such a great team, like the last 6 minutes, Coach said, they just kind of took over the game. Basically, we couldn't hit shots, we couldn't execute, and they executed. And then they went inside the Gray, and like Coach said, he's a monster inside.
The Colonials have long sought to improve their reputation in Division I, and it takes opposition like Pitt to do just that. But Coach Mark Schmidt isn't ready to claim any moral victories for his program, despite a solid performance.
No, I don't think you get anything out of a loss. I really don't. I think you learn how to win by winning. And, you know, it's good to play Pitt, but I don't think you get anything out of it. I just think that, you know, you compete. You know, I'd rather win than lose.
Theatrics would be the operative word here tonight at the Peterson Event Center as the Pitt Panthers were able to hold off the Robert Morris Colonials. And with all the hoopla and the bright lights here at the Pete, it's easy for a young team such as the Colonials to be distracted. However, Coach Mark Schmidt was able to get his team in gear and pose a nice little threat to the Panthers, impressing Coach Jamie Dixon.
I thought we played very well tonight against a very good team, and I expect not at all surprised by how good they were, and expect them to, I hate to put the pressure on Mark, but I think they'll win their league. I think they'll win the Northeast Conference.
Conference play is still down the road, but the Colonials go back to work on Saturday against another crosstown rival, the Duquesne Dukes. From the Peterson Event Center in Oakland, the Pitt Panthers defeat the Robert Morris Colonials 67-53. For Colonial Sports Center, I'm Andrew Chiappese.
Thank you, AJ. The men's basketball team doesn't have much time to dwell on last night's loss. CSC's very own basketball analyst Christian Miranda previews this Saturday's game against crosstown rival Duquesne.
The Robert Morris men's basketball team is off to its best start in school history. Despite a great effort against the nationally ranked Pittsburgh Panthers on Wednesday night, the loss is only the Colonials' first loss of the season and leaves Bobby Moe's record sitting at 4-1. However, it is very early in the season, and the chance of a let-up is going to become more of a fear for the Colonials as they continue to roll through their schedule. And the key to avoiding that let-up will be hopping on the backs of team leaders Tony Lee, Jeremy Chappelle, and A.J. Jackson. Of course, we can't forget about Derek Coleman, who has a buffet of new talent coming off of the bench that will no doubt help DC cushion his stats in the assist column. This Saturday night, the Duquesne Dukes will be invading the Charles L. Sewell Center with hopes of improving on their 2-3 record. The Colonials will have their hands full as the Dukes are a young team led by freshman sensations Robert Mitchell and Scott Grote. Mitchell is a 6'6", 175-pound freshman who was averaging just under 17 points a game and 7.4 rebounds per game. Grote is a 6'6", 200-pound freshman who was averaging 16.2 points a game while shooting 40% from three-point range. However, with the emergence of 6'10" sophomore transfer Iffy Iram, who had 7 quick points and a block Wednesday night, Robert Morris may have found themselves the presence in the middle that they lacked throughout the 2005-2006 season. This Saturday night will be a chance for the Colonials to find out a lot about themselves as they rebound from their first loss of the season and a frustrating game against Pittsburgh. Make sure you join Andrew Chiappese and I this Saturday night at 7 p.m. at the Charles L. Sewell Center as your Robert Morris Colonials will be taking on the Duquesne Dukes. For Colonial Sports Center, I'm Christian Miranda. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Christian. So where exactly does the men's basketball team fall in the NEC standings? Number 2 out of the total 11 schools. What's interesting, though, is that even though their record is 4-1, they fall underneath Central Connecticut State, who's 2-4. Turns out that since CCSU is 1-0 in the conference, they get the better standing. The men's team will get their first chance to move up to seed 1 when they play their first conference game at Sacred Heart on December 7th. By the way, the men's basketball team is looking very good, and we should expect big things this season. On the other hand, the men's ice hockey team is holding tight to the second seed in the conference as they continue the 06-07 season. The guys who are 4-8 overall and 3-3 in the conference are trailing behind Niagara University's Purple Eagles, who are 8-5 and 3 overall and 4-1 in the conference. The Colonial's ice hockey team is still in its infancy. While led by head coach Derek Schooley, the team has come a long way in the last 3 years it has been at RMU. The men look to hit the ice again December 9th and 10th in Huntsville, Alabama for the College Hockey America contest.
Well, coming up in just a little bit, Nick Glumley's going to sit down with the head coach and starting goaltender of the women's ice hockey team. If you missed that, well, then you're the kind of person who probably knows what a dada is.
So what do you get me for Christmas?
For you?
Yeah.
Probably a big bag of
coal?
Okay, yeah.
Geez, sounds like somebody's a little bitter. But I, out of the goodness of my heart, took the time to get you something nice.
Really?
Yes. Actually, I got you a box of tissues for whenever you find out that the women's volleyball team season is done. Yes, it is true. Well, officially, the women's volleyball team ended their season finishing 3rd in the conference with a record of 17-16 overall, 5-3 in the NEC. The ladies advanced not only to the NEC tournament, but once again dove their way towards the NEC final championship game against Long Island University. Unfortunately, for the 3rd year in a row, the ladies fell short of the conference title to 8-0 in the NEC LIU. Just because the ladies won't be butting heads with Penn State tomorrow at the NCAA tournament doesn't mean their season wasn't phenomenal. Looking at overall team statistics, the Colonials dominated the court over their opponents as a whole. Total points in general, RMU had 2,986 points, which is 36 more than the opposing teams combined with a total of 2,954. The only area in which the ladies seemed to fall slightly short of their opponents was in serving. The team is very strong offensively and defensively, which gave them an edge over the teams in the conference who lacked a little bit in either of the areas. Leading the season with most kills, Emily Wolfus, Jen Stambaugh, and Jeanette Schneider made sure they were at the net and scoring off leading setter Tanya Storino's sets, making it easy for fans to see where some of the power came from on the team. Other power sources on the team were sophomore Elena Gibson, who held the record on the season for most digs at 455, whereas senior Lisa Jazsak finished out her career leading serves for the season at 50 good. The women's volleyball team will be losing 3 seniors this year upon graduation, Lisa Jaska, Jeanette Schneider, and LaShayla Dawson, but will still retain the power to intimidate others on the court in upcoming years.
Well, for the Chucky hardwood floor to the frozen pond on Neville Island, CSC's very own women's ice hockey correspondent Kelly Burke brings you up to date on the team. Kelly.
Women's ice hockey team returns home this weekend for a 2-game series against defending national champion Wisconsin. In goal for the Colonials will be sophomore Brianne McLaughlin, who recently earned the NEC Defensive Player of the Week honors for the 4th time this season. Her 21-save shutout last weekend against Vermont helped her become the USCHO.com Defensive Player of the Week as well. Nationally, McLaughlin is ranked 6th in save percentage at .932. In the team's 14 games this season, opponents are averaging only 2.27 goals a game, leaving the Colonials with a record of 5-7-2. The puck will drop at 7:35 Friday and 2:05 on Saturday at the Island Sports Center. For Colonial Sports Center, I'm Kelly Burke.
Well, it seems like I'm doing this story every week now. Ladies ice hockey sophomore goaltender Brianne McLaughlin was again named CHA Player of the Week for a 2nd week in a row. This is her 3rd accolade of the year. Last Friday, McLaughlin made 35 saves and a 1-0 loss to Clarkson. 17 of those came just in the 2nd period alone. Can we get her on the show, please? Come on. Set is starting goaltender for the women's ice hockey team, Brianne McLaughlin, and head coach Nate Handrahan. Nick, take it away.
Well, I'd like to welcome Coach Nate Handrahan and goaltender Brianne McLaughlin. Thank you guys for coming on the show this evening.
We're glad to be here.
Now, Coach, this is only the 2nd year of the program, and we were talking, women's ice hockey is very new to the NCAA. How can you, this is your 2nd year in existence, how has the team kind of worked out? It seems that you're playing a lot better. You've already surpassed your win total from last year.
Well, I think we were doing a lot of things in practice very well. We demand that the girls practice hard every day we go on the ice, and they've started to buy into practicing hard and pushing each other on their own without having me having to push them. But they do a very good job, and we stick to doing the simple things very well.
Now, Brianne, you actually have gotten several accolades of CHA Player of the Year, Player of the Week. You also received the Defensive Player of the Week in the USCHO for your great performance. What can you kind of attribute that to in only your second year playing collegiately?
Well, experience, but the team's playing a lot better this year. We got girls constantly diving in front of shots. I'm comparing bruises in the locker room. Allie and Vanessa. Laura White, defenseman, she's constantly doing the splits, diving in front of shots. She's getting them to the face all the time. But they're just making my job a lot easier. Now,
you've also added a lot of new players, a couple freshmen. Also, you have Maria Olesen, who's actually on the Danish national team. What has she brought to the squad this year?
Well, I think she brings an international experience to our team that gives us the opportunity to show some of the younger players more of an opportunity to just how you're supposed to perform at an elite level day in and day out. And she's done a very good job, and we've had to also help her get acclimated to the North American lifestyle a little bit too. So she's taught us a lot, and we've taught her a lot as well.
Now, you've had some great time on your last road trip. You defeated Vermont for the second straight year. You also played a very good Providence team as well, and you did fairly well against them.
Well, we were very happy with our month of November. We went on 3 very difficult road trips. We had a weekend series to start the month at Clarkson, who have 12 seniors. So that was a daunting task for us, and we played very well. We went to RPI, who swept us this past season here at home, and we went in and got a split at RPI, and then to get a win at Vermont and then tie Providence was very good, and it was another opportunity for us to take a step forward.
Now, this weekend, you're actually playing the defending last year's defending national championships, #2 in the country, Wisconsin. What have you kind of done to have them? They're coming all the way here to Neville Island.
Well, one of the interesting things in the college hockey community is that it is a small community, and we're lucky enough to have Jenny Montleone be a part of our team. Her sister Phoebe is a senior at Wisconsin, and that kind of spurred the opportunity for us to play. And we're very fortunate to have them here. We're excited about it, and hopefully we can do a good job on the ice this weekend.
Now, Friday's something special. It's the Skate for the Cure. Can you tell us a little bit about that event on Friday?
Well, the Skate for the Cure campaign is a conference-wide initiative where each team in the conference does their own fundraising campaign to raise dollars for breast cancer research and treatment. And this season, we're hosting the CHA tournament at the end of the year, and we're going to make a donation to the Glimmer of Hope Foundation here in town. And I think it's a very worthy cause, and our girls have definitely bought into the idea of it.
Now, Brianne, you look at a team like Wisconsin, a very offensive squad. They had some great games last weekend. What are some of the keys in this weekend, playing them?
Just doing my job, making sure, talking to my defensemen, make sure doing things behind the net and blocking shots.
I think we need to be comfortable in the things that we do. We can't get wrapped up in all of the things that they do because they're a very good team. They're very talented. They're very deep. We have to go out and be ourselves, which is work hard, block shots, play a team game, and we'll see what happens. That's why they play the games.
Now, you've also really looked like you've wanted to play some very difficult, tough teams to really build the program.
Mm-hmm. Any time that you go into any kind of games, you want to have an opportunity to learn something about yourself as well. If we went into every game and played games that were sure things, I don't know how much we would actually get out of it. We need to be able to play the best teams in the country because our goal is a team, and I think the girls' goal as well is to win a national championship here.
Now, you have 2 big games this weekend at Neville Island. You also, right after you play the #1 ranked team in the country, CHA champion last year, Mercyhurst. So is it kind of a good kind of point to see where your team is at after these maybe next 2 group games?
Well, it's kind of worked out for us that way that, you know, playing Mercyhurst all the time, we always want to make sure that our tempo and how quickly we play and play at that level is on par going into that weekend. So playing Wisconsin this weekend helps us.
Well, again, thank you very much, Coach and Brianne, for joining us. Again, they're playing Wisconsin this weekend at Neville Island, and you should come by and watch. Back to you, Brian and Heather.
Let me ask, what do you want to see next on CSC? I know what you're thinking, but I'm sorry, Nick Lumley will not be dancing an Irish jig in a leprechaun outfit. Although we will have a recap of the ladies of the Orange Ball Court and their victory over Duquesne, so stick around. On Tuesday, the Lady Colonial basketball team played host to crosstown rival Duquesne. The Colonials were coming off a tough loss to Chopin State. Were looking to reverse their two-game losing streak. If the Colonials were to walk away with a win, they would finish with a record of above 500 for the month of November. Let's go check out the action at the Sewell Center. RMU comes into the game 2-2, looking for the win against Duquesne in red, who has a record so far of 3-2. Sachi Butler gets the ball just outside the 3 and passes across to Natasha Somerville, who puts it in for 3 right here. That is all net, baby. Sachi Butler gets the ball, and it's throwing to what likes to be an easy 2, but Monsack gets the ball and bounces off the rim. Nesbitt had 6 total offensive rebounds for the game. Kendra Williams passes to Somerville, who's way out on the 3. Check it. That's money. Duquesne's Bruce passes to number 33, Jocelyn Chandler, who answers back with a 3 of her own. Chandler was 3 for 6 in shots for the field that night. Somerville's pass to Montauk is knocked away and stolen by Duquesne's Christy Little. She's a long pass down the court to number 21, Bruce, with an easy layup for 2. Somerville takes the pass from Hall down the court. The ball's way in front of her. Open court for Deuce. Somerville was 5 and 11 shots of the field for the night as well. Pass to Nesbitt is good, and so are the 2 points she puts in. Little hot potato action, and yet another 3 for RMU by Alston. Alston's coming around towards the top of the key with a pass to Monsack at the foul line, but gives it to Nesbitt for 2. Duquesne's shot right here is rebounded by Jenna Burkett, and she has a very long pass down the court, and it pulls up for 2 by Alston. Alston has been a big pawn for the ladies team so far this year. Christy Little gets the ball and takes it with a pass to Bruce. Another easy 2. Bluey Hall of Duquesne goes for a shot and is fouled by Montauk. Count 'em. Little's pass to Pryor gives Duquesne another 1, 2, 3 for the board. Montauk loses the ball and ties up, and Little regains possession. It ends up that Little ended up to be a little injured during that play, but she's all right. She'll be okay. Duquesne's Flaga takes it in. Right here goes past RMU's Williams and gets the 2. Right here, the ball's tied up under the boards, but despite Monsack's try, it's red ball. That away. And here, ladies coach Sal Biscagula just can't get over the fact that a foul wasn't called on Duquesne for that play. Somerville drops back and tries to put it in for a 3, but misses, and Nesbitt taps it in for a 2. Nesbitt's pass to Butler gives RMU 2 with a jumper. Butler was 2 for 5 in shots from the field. Ladies, the final score of the game was RMU on top, score 66-59. Duquesne 59-66. Carrie Pryor had 18 points, Louis Hall 14 points, Carmen Bruce 14 points, Robert Morris, who's now 3-2, Nesbitt 18 points, Monsack 4-13 for 14 points, and Somerville 5-11 for 13 points.
Well, I guess we kind of failed to mention earlier, but this is the last show of the semester tier. But it's not my last show. It's not Heather. She just started. We're going to be coming back next semester, but we'll get to more of that later. I've been here for about 3.5 years. Out of everybody that works on the show, I'm the one that's been here the longest. However, there's one other person that's been here longer, a full year longer, someone that's been here for about 4.5 years. And he's our director, and he started out as a tape op, and I met him in one of my classes, my philosophy class. His name is Kevin Snatchko. He's a great guy. There he is on camera. This is his last show. If you're at home, if you could give him a round of applause. I know we can't hear you, but it'd be cool if you did that. Everyone in the control room. And here's your very own ass hat, Kevin. That's your very own ass hat. And we have some RMU cheerleaders who did a fantastic job at the pit game last night, I must add. But here's a cake. This is for you, Kevin. I don't know where the cake's from.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, look at that. It fits him so nicely, so well. It's good stuff for Kevin. His last show ever. And you're out of here. That's what the cake says. What a cute cake. if I were to make a cake, that's probably something I would make and give to a man of giant stature as Kevin Snatchko. But, yeah, so I've known him for a while. Great guy. I wish people at home could know him. But, hey, congrats, Kevin. Moving on to bigger and better things, greener pastures. However, he's not the only one. This is his last show. There's another guy. Yeah, his name's Dan Yost, and he is a producer, and he's been producing for a year and a half. There he is, all dolled up for his last show. This is his last producing effort. I must say that he's gotten better every show, and a little smoochy for everybody out there in Colonial Country. But I must say that every show he's been getting better and better. So congratulations, Dan. This one goes out to you. Nice suit again. And that's it. And like we said, this is the last show of the semester, but we'll be back. And Heather, this is your first semester on the show. What'd you think?
Jumbling with everything else, track and the musical and everything, it's been a fun time, but I love it. It's
really? You do?
Yes.
Are you going to come back?
No. Yeah, I am.
All right,
I am.
Well, that's
I
good.
love it.
Well, we're glad to have you in this dysfunctional family. So at least you got one semester under your belt, and you probably have more years to come. But like I said, we'll see you next semester. Have a good Christmas.
Yes.
And
New Year's.
I got my present. I'm going to be crying once the show's over. I'm about to tear up right now. But anyway, yeah, so don't tune in next week. We're not going to be on. Don't waste your time. So we're going to go out and celebrate. If you want to catch us at the bar, Frederick's, maybe the Triv, we'll see you there, maybe. If not, go back to your places. You want to get the cheerleaders on real quick, maybe?
Cheerleaders?
Why don't you come on real quick? We're going a little TBS.
A little crazy
Come on. We have the cheerleaders. We're going to end on the cheerleaders cheering in the background. Come on. Well, just jump around and do your thing. There you go. You guys were on ESPN last night. Come on, that was cool as heck.
Very nice.
Excellent. There you go. Anyway, that's Colonial Sports Center for the fall semester.
See you guys in a month and a half.
Month and a half. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.